Hey there, wrestling fans. Welcome back to another wild episode of Suplex Saga, where we dive deep into the most mind-blowing, pulse-pounding, and absolutely unforgettable moments from the wrestling universe. I'm your host, and what I have for you today is something that has shaken the WWE world to its core. If you thought you'd seen it all, think again, because this moment redefines shock, betrayal, loyalty, and epic returns in professional wrestling. So buckle up because the headline says it all. Roman Reigns has reformed the Shield. Yes, you heard that right. The tribal chief, the head of the table, is back in WWE. And he's bringing with him a whole new generation of Shield dominance. Let's break it down from the top. Roman Reigns has been a towering presence in WWE for years now. As the leader of the Bloodline, he dominated every major event, stood tall against every challenger, and carved a legacy that seemed unshakable. But WrestleMania 41 was the beginning of a seismic shift. Reigns entered the event as the reigning champion in a triple-threat showdown against Seth Rollins and CM Punk. The atmosphere was electric, the stakes at an all-time high. But what fans couldn't see coming was the ultimate betrayal. Paul Heyman, the trusted wise man, turned on Reigns, handing Rollins the victory and helping him secure the title. Reigns didn't even take the pin. He was robbed by the very man he had trusted to guide his empire. That betrayal sent shockwaves through the WWE universe and marked the end of an era. Or so we thought. In the months following that devastating loss, Reigns vanished from WWE programming. Speculation ran rampant. Was he injured? Was he done for good? Would he make a surprise comeback at SummerSlam or Survivor Series? Social media exploded with theories, but there was radio silence from the man himself. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins reveled in his new power. With Paul Heyman at his side, Rollins built the new authority, an updated version of the infamous faction from years past. This time, he recruited Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, two powerhouses who've bulldozed their way through the SmackDown roster. Rollins held the Money in the Bank briefcase and took every opportunity to mock Reigns, calling him a relic, a has-been, a fallen king. But while Rollins enjoyed his reign, Roman Reigns was quietly plotting. He wasn't gone, he was just getting ready. And on the June 16, 2025, episode of Monday Night Raw, the storm finally broke. In the closing segment of the night, Seth Rollins was in the ring, cutting one of his trademark egotistical promos, flanked by his enforcers Breaker and Reed, with Paul Heyman grinning proudly at his side. Rollins held the briefcase like a trophy, bragging about dismantling Roman Reigns and declaring himself the true king of WWE. The crowd booed, but then, out of nowhere, the arena went dark. A low, ominous beat began to echo through the speakers. The lights were out completely, and for a few moments no one could see what was coming. Then, in a blinding flash, the lights returned, and standing atop the ramp was Roman Reigns. Dressed in a black tactical vest with his hood drawn up, Reigns looked like he had returned from the depths. The reaction from the crowd was deafening. Phones went up, people screamed, and the energy in the arena was electric. But Reigns wasn't alone. Two figures stood beside him, faces obscured by hoods. The crowd buzzed with confusion and anticipation. Who were these men? What was Reigns planning? Slowly, deliberately, the trio began to march down the ramp. In the ring, Rollins' confidence evaporated. Heyman screamed instructions. Breaker and Reed prepared for a fight. Then, as the figures entered the ring, the video screen flashed with a legendary call. Sierra, Hotel, India, Go, Lima, Delta, Shield. The fans went absolutely berserk. The Shield was back. The two hooded men ripped off their hoods to reveal their identities. First, Jon Moxley, the lunatic fringe himself. The same Moxley who had left WWE back in 2019 and become one of the biggest stars in AEW. His return sent shockwaves through the industry. No one expected it. Moxley was still under contract with AEW through 2027. Yet somehow, someway, WWE and AEW had made a deal to allow this one-night appearance. Rumors would swirl later that Reigns himself may have pulled some powerful strings, or perhaps Moxley just couldn't resist settling some old scores. The second figure was Jey Uso. Yes, Jey, Reigns' own cousin and former Bloodline member. Their relationship had been complicated, a roller coaster of trust, betrayal, family loyalty, and personal conflict. But now Jey was back by Reigns' side, fists clenched and ready for war. The new Shield had arrived, a mix of old and new, forged from betrayal and rebirth. What followed was pure chaos. Braun Breaker lunged at Reigns, only to be flattened by a Superman punch. Bronson Reed charged forward but crashed into the turnbuckle after Reigns sidestepped. Moxley tackled Rollins, unleashing his trademark fury, and then delivered a brutal paradigm shift that planted Rollins into the mat. Jey Uso speared Reed out of the ring, leaving a trail of carnage in his wake. Then Reigns grabbed Heyman by the collar, looked him dead in the eyes, and delivered the words fans had waited months to hear. "You betrayed me." With that, Reigns tossed Heyman into the barricade like a rag doll. The trio stood tall in the ring, raising their fists in the signature Shield salute, while Rollins and his cronies scrambled up the ramp, looking shocked, wounded, and defeated. The crowd's roar was unrelenting. Raw cut to black, but the echoes of that moment would reverberate across the wrestling world for days to come. This shocking reformation of the Shield set the stage for a whole new era in WWE. First, there's the obvious feud: Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Their rivalry has deep roots, dating back to their original days as Shield brothers. Now, with betrayal added to the mix, the heat between them is at an all-time high. A SummerSlam clash between the two seems inevitable, and it promises to be one of the most intense matches in recent history. Then there's the broader faction war. Rollins' new authority, with Heyman's scheming and the brute strength of Breaker and Reed, stands as a terrifying force. But the new Shield, Reigns, Moxley, and Jey, are every bit their equals. The potential for a War Games match at Survivor Series is mouth-watering. Imagine these two factions battling it out inside a steel structure. No rules, no escape, just warfare. Moxley's involvement adds an unpredictable edge. Is he back in WWE full-time? Is this a one-off? No one knows yet, but his presence alone has blown open the door for possible cross-promotional storylines. Fans are already speculating about potential dream matches. Moxley versus Cody Rhodes, Moxley versus Gunther, Moxley versus Orton. If WWE and AEW really have struck a working agreement, this could mark the beginning of something revolutionary in wrestling history. Jey Uso's return to Reigns' side also raises questions. His Bloodline story arc was full of emotion, loyalty, rebellion, and growth. Now he's back, but will it last? What happens when Jimmy Uso or Solo Sikoa find out Jey's fighting alongside Reigns again? Could it reignite old family tensions and lead to more drama down the road? Online, the WWE Universe has been on fire. Twitter went into meltdown mode as #NewShield trended globally. One fan tweeted, "Reigns and Moxley together again. I'm crying." Another posted, "Jey Uso in the